Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Please do us a favor. Smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. It helps really get the word out. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Also, check us out on Reddit and Discord, and leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
We got some Winnipeg Jets talk. We got some Winnipeg Sea Bears talk. We got a little bit of Goldeyes action we're going to touch on. But let's go with the point after. A new segment we started a couple weeks ago. Anything missed from the Grey Cup? We let it all out. We had a little bit of a rant last episode. We've been able to breathe now, have a couple more beers. Any thoughts that we missed that we can calmly get through with the Blue Bombers in the Grey Cup?
You know what? For me, the biggest one is going back to the touchdown by Cole Spiker over Adam Bighill. And, Bighill ended up coming out and explaining kind of the play, saying that wasn't his guy, which is also surprising to me because I've never really heard any Bomber come out and kind of say, hey, that wasn't my fault kind of thing. But I get it because he was kind of getting blamed for it. So you kind of want to set the record straight. But it was an interesting play altogether. And I remember Jamal Parker going out when he got hurt off the kick return, I think, or the punt return, right? And I didn't realize this was the play in question that basically almost happened right after that. So he was out. Hallett came in to play safety, and Alexander came in to play DB, right? Halfback. So that kind of messed the Bombers up right there, and Montreal capitalized on that, and Bighill just went back to try and cover that play up. Unfortunately, someone else messed up. We're not sure who, depending on the coverage and all that stuff. But yeah, that ends up being a huge play, and again, Montreal capitalized on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good analysts, post-analysts going on. There's that guy, I forgot to write his name down again. I quoted him 2 weeks in a row now with his analysis. He used to be a CIS quarterback, maybe something Alexander, I don't know. But he had that play that you were talking about that Adam Bighill was like, hold on, wait a minute. And there was also an analysis that Bent Grant had trying to defend Richie Hall's calling of a cover zero on Philpott, saying that Cody Fajardo was 6 for 7 on the drive, going 7 to 7 yards. He had momentum. So at that point, you pretty much had to send an all-out blitz. Give me a break. That's nonsense. When you're deep in your end, that deep in your end, and you're only up by 3, you do not risk them getting a touchdown on a hot quarterback. Yeah. You do what most teams or everyone did against Fajardo. You force him to make a decision. Don't make the decision easy. Oh, here's all up blitz, one-on-ones. I'm taking the inside guy to the post. Like, come on. Like, that's a horrible position by the media there. This dude trying to defend a cover zero in that situation at that point in the game. It's insane. It makes no sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable defensive plays in that half, like we talked about too the other day. The last play, or not the sorry, also on the last drive, that big 3rd and 5 completion. It looked like guys got confused there too, what they were supposed to do. So it's weird watching a team like this and the Bombers, getting confused on the field like that. They've been around in the system for a long time, but maybe having less guys, like you didn't have Winston Rose. So you couldn't pop Winston Rose in there for Jamal Parker. Now you have to move a safety to DB and then another guy who's not playing to safety, right? So that messes things up, and confuse these guys up. So it's weird to watch a team make those mistakes. But unfortunately, the Bombers did it in this game, and they did it in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah. Make sure that analysis is right. Some of them is wrong out there. And of course, a lot of my analysis is wrong. So I'm not calling y'all out. I'm just saying, man, watch them plays again.
Well, nobody knows exactly what everyone's responsibility on the field is. And it's only the guys on the field and the coaches, really, right? So you can watch a play and go, oh, he messed up. But then it's like, no, he was trying to cover for that guy who messed up. But you won't know that, right? So a lot of people can speculate and make choices and whatever, but most of the time they're probably wrong.
I'm really enjoying watching Antoine Duquois. I have to get that right. That's so disrespectful on my end. And actually, that goes into the narrative of what I'm talking about. His rant after the Grey Cup about being disrespected, the Francophones being disrespected. He went off, a little bit of swearing. You know what? I'm all for it. I totally support him because he is right. The Francophones and the Francophone community and culture have been disrespected by the CFL for a long time. And you know what? Randy Ambrosie's response to that, and the signage not being there, and the LCF logo not being there, was, oh, we change it to depend on the regions. No, Grey Cup should be 50-50, French and English. So I totally support the rant that he went on en français. It was great. And Randy Ambrosi, you got to fix that and just take it. Don't make excuses. Take the punch on the chin that y'all effed up. And they forgot to announce the congratulations on their social media to the Alouettes. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I support his freak out.
Richard Sherman, went off like Richard Sherman. I agree with him. I don't necessarily like the timing of the rant, but I do agree this stuff should not be happening on the field. Everything. I mean, you're playing for one thing. The CFL, it's Canada. Everything's English, French, right? So that should be there. Now you got a Montreal team, who's French. That should really be there, and not that it should be only there because they're there, but it should be, it should be made sure it's there now. So I do agree with his rant. I'm not necessarily the timing of it. I mean, enjoy the Grey Cup and all that kind of stuff, and maybe try to handle it later. But yeah, the CFL messed up, and Ambrosi, he's always got an excuse for something, man. I mean, there's an excuse for the stats. There's an excuse why this wasn't there. The excuse why there wasn't even the French anthem when in Toronto, right? They had a singer that couldn't sing both. It's like, wow,
come on.
Should you not have both? Should you
Didn't
not
we have that in Winnipeg?
Yeah,
for the West Final, I think half of it was in French.
Yeah,
or part of it was in French, wasn't it?
But can't remember.
It's ridiculous. And I disagree. I think the timing was perfect. This is the biggest stage that you have to say what you want. He just won the biggest game of his life. They've probably been holding this in, not just this Grey Cup week, but as a French football player for a damn long time. So this is the perfect time to say it. Who's going to listen to you when you're on social media 2 weeks after?
No, I'm not saying social media, maybe an interview after the fact, but would he have done it if they lost? Would this rant have still been there, or would we not even be talking about it at all? That would have been interesting.
He wouldn't have the platform. He wouldn't have had the platform after the game. You
could still do it. You still got a platform at some point to end up airing your thoughts, or at least sharing your displeasure with a league you play in. And the guy's a star in this league. I mean, he had a great season.
Yeah, but the platform is different when you lose than when you win. The win is
for sure.
Icing on the cake. Yeah. I told you so.
Oh, for sure. It is a different platform, for sure. But
I like the timing of it.
Yeah.
Any other things of the Grey Cup?
I still can't get over it. I look back at it and I can't believe it. The Bomber offense only scored 7 points in that second half. And really, they only had 2 really good drives in that half, and one ended up in an interception. So to me, it was shocking how inept that offense really was in this game. And I know a lot of people were questioning, hey, should Dalton Schoen have played? Should Biggie have played? And all that. I do like the fact that they came out and said, hey, man, we were good enough to play. They made the right decision. So again, the team is sticking up for each other in that sense. So, but that offense just never seemed in sync. Lawler only had 3 catches. So yeah, it's just disappointing to watch that offense.
Something about, and I think that it's always, not always, when it comes to the Grey Cup, Zach Caleros has not been on point.
Since the first one.
His best Grey Cup was probably the Hamilton Grey Cup that he played for over 340 yards and a touchdown. Like altogether with all of them, he's 99 for 134, 74%, good. 1171 over 4 games, that's good. The 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I'm not saying it's an issue. I don't know what the reason is, because he was amazing again. Maybe even still should have. He would have won MOP over Chad Kelly if he was nominated, without a doubt.
Probably, yeah.
But I don't know. He's just not showing up for these Grey Cups.
No touch. I mean, I know the Prue Cup, gets a lot of these touchdowns on the one and all that, but no touchdowns from Claros over the last 2 games either. So, that's kind of interesting for your starting quarterback to not have any touchdowns in 2 games in a Grey Cup.
No, that's not good.
No.
Fajardo had 3.
Yeah. Are you keeping Drew Brown then instead?
No. No, you have the best quarterback in the league right now under contract. You can't step away.
No.
You beg Drew Brown to stay all you want. We'll get into free agency in a second because of the list that Ed Tate released like the day after Grey Cup. No time for grieving. He's right into it. Nope. But yeah, so let's go into it then. Ed Tate, who would be your top 3 priority on this list?
Man, this is quite the list, though, eh? Both starting offensive lines, and the D line are all free agents. Never mind everybody else. I'm probably going to start with Willie Jefferson, just because we love our trenches and all that stuff. So I'm saying priority in the top, whatever spot there. Willie Jefferson is probably in that top 3 for me. How he plays the game. He always brings it. Good team leader. and a good seller of Winnipeg lately, right? He loves it here. He's settled into Winnipeg, so he's a great guy to be an ambassador to bring guys in. And it sounds
Yeah.
like he is ready to sign whenever they're ready.
Yeah.
You know, and as long as the money is probably obviously good enough, he'll end up doing it. So Willie Jefferson for me. I mean, besides Kyle Walters, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Willie Jefferson.
Yeah, I agree with Willie Jefferson. He is the defense, like beginning of the year. This dude, I said he was going to be one of the best defensive playmakers in the league. He still has it, and I can see him doing it for a few more years. So I think he is a priority. When he has a big game, that's almost a guaranteed win for the Winnipeg defense. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
definitely, I'm keeping Kolinkowski.
Yeah.
Like of those starters, he's the youngest. He's the one that is getting
Gray's
more.
the youngest, isn't he?
Gray was drafted before Kolinkowski. He's been on the roster for 3-4 years before
I thought
Kolinkowski, wasn't he?
Kolinkowski was still in his early 30s though.
Maybe check that out.
I'll pull it up right
But
now.
Kolinkowski is a center that's really starting to come into form right now. He's starting to call out blocking assignments and everything. So I think you want to try and lock him down. I don't know what limits these contracts to 2 years. I'd love to see more 3-4 year contracts if possible. And I think Kolinkowski would be one to get that with.
Yeah, Kolinkowski is 31.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and Jeff Gray's 29. So
I thought Kolinkowski was younger.
I think he's been around for a bit, not really, you know, entrenched in a starter role till he got to Winnipeg, kind of thing, as far as I remember. But yeah,
the wear and tear then is pretty good.
I agree. The next spot I would definitely start on would be the O-line. You know, any one of those guys really depends what Hardrick and Stanley are doing. Obviously, if those guys are coming back, I want those guys back first. But yeah, Kolinkowski, probably he's a center, probably more important, or not more. Yeah, it's a more important position really than the guard spot. So yeah, Kolinkowski would probably be at the top of my list as well.
Who else you got?
Brady Oliveira for me. Just his pounding running. I know he's going to try for the NFL. And it sounds like he's gonna, if he doesn't make the NFL, he's gonna look around. His comments this week are kind of eye-opening because it's just like he's ready to get paid kind of thing, and it's just interesting to me because I think if another team does offer him more, it sounds like he may end up taking it. But yeah, the Bombers do need to get on that because he was the heart and soul of that offense, and picked them up when they were having a bad game. Like he was always there for it, and of course, you know, his O-line was great too this season, and none of them are on their contract, but Brady Oliveira would be probably the other one for me.
He's the most outstanding player on the team, without a doubt. You got to sign that guy. He just went crazy with how many yards? 2,000 yards, all purpose?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen every year. He's number one priority without a doubt. Yeah, the thing is, Hardrick, you don't know where he wants to be. I think Janarian Grant is a very important piece that you need to take, but I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to go dark horse, and I'm going to say Brian Cole. I love that guy as a defensive playmaker. He can play outside. He can play inside. They need more speed on the defense. They need a linebacker who's also competent at covering. I really like, and he's good at blitzing. Like this guy kind of reminds me of McManus in Toronto. Maybe a smaller version. He's not as big, but he's a playmaker when he's on the field, and he's been limited action right now. So I really want to see them lock up Brian Cole. I know there might be more important pieces, and like I said, it's a dark horse, but I really like this guy on defense. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, and you want to keep those young guys in the fold, right? To keep this going. The older guys at some point are all going to walk away or move on to do other things. So younger guys would be great to keep in this. I mean, it's tough. You look at this, like Dalton Schoen's also another one, right? But you already have Dembski and Lawler making over, 150 or whatever it is. Can you pay another receiver? You know, Dalton Schoen's not going to take less than probably 150, right? Probably could get more than that even.
For sure.
So it's going to be tough to fit all these guys in. And then Oliveira, right? He's going to get paid no matter what. If he ends up re-signing, he's probably at least 200, 150 to 200, right? So
Bailey,
yeah.
Will he take another pay cut?
I think he would. The way he sounds, he just loves being in Winnipeg. He loves playing in Winnipeg. He had the opportunity to take more money last year, and he decided to come back, right? And I think Montreal was one of the teams that were kind of going after him. So I mean, he could end up possibly being a Grey Cup champion, right? But he wanted to stick around in Winnipeg and do it in Winnipeg again. So yeah, some of these guys will take less. Some of these guys, hey, they're going to want to cash in, right? And you can't blame any of these guys for wanting to cash in. Like that whole DB group is freaking free agents, right? Like no one there is signed.
I think that's a good position for them to be in right now.
Yeah, so
that's a really good position to be in right now, because I think they do need to evaluate that secondary.
Yeah, and as much as DeMario Houston had 7 interceptions this year, he got beat quite a bit this year, and some plays the receiver dropped the easy touchdown or whatever. But he was a high risk,
High reward.
high reward DB, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow, there's some decisions to make. And again, let's hope Kyle Walters is the one making those decisions. Because
yeah,
like even O'Shea on the coaches show said he wasn't really interested in that. He repeated what he said kind of in the coaches media session. Never once have I looked for the next job. You know, he's always been 100% into what his job is right now, and that's his relationship with the players at that level.
yeah.
So
Well, we
it
said it.
sounds like he will stay.
You said it. We said it before. Like you can't be like the GM who wants to be a hard line with contracts and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden now you got to turn yourself into the coach as well after you told the guy, hey, you're not worth that extra $20,000. Sign for this or else, right? And so now all of a sudden you got to be like, hey, buddy, it's like it doesn't work. It's not working for some of these teams. So
No.
if it's not Walters, do they keep it in house? Maybe McManus, Goldeyes, or something like that. I think they most have to kind of keep this going. Because if you bring in someone from outside, they don't necessarily know all these players. They don't know the relationship everyone kind of has in this team. So maybe harder to bring some of these guys back.
Ooh, long season to go, and we'll continue to have Winnipeg Blue Bomber talk. A little buzz going on right now. Buck Pierce, perhaps dark horse in Saskatchewan talk. I don't know.
That'd be interesting because if he gets it, who does he take from this coaching staff too, right? And who does he try to sign out of these guys? So,
and if that happens, I would have no problem with Paul LaPolice coming back and being the OC if he wants to. I'd have no issue with that. Although Zach Collaros has had passing yardage wise his best seasons under Buck Pierce.
Yeah. So maybe there's someone in house that can take it over
in his career.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Bomber fans, put your thoughts below. Have I covered all the Bomber talk for this week?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, 3 highlights. 3 highlights from 2023. Sorry, I'm getting all excited about Winnipeg Jets talk. You got your Jets gear on. I got my Jets gear on. I was ready to move forward, but no, let's keep going with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers because we love them. Let's have 3 highlights from the 2023 Blue Bombers season. I'm going to go first. I'm sorry, man. All of mine are games. Banjo Bowl, that 51-6 ass kicking was fun to be at. I really enjoyed it because that started that 7-game losing streak that the Riders ended their season on. And yeah, I might sound kind of petty right now, but I am, because online, Rider fans right now, I cannot stand y'all. Y'all are really trying to shove some stuff down my throat. So y'all need to shut up with your 210 winning percentage in the Grey Cup and your laughable 4 chips, because that 51-6 ass whooping was great.
Yeah, I have that as one of mine as well. I was not at the game. I was away, but I was listening on the radio, and I was loving every minute. High fives all around with the guys and stuff like that. So it was great listening to that, especially after that Labor Day game. You know, when it was all the talk of the town that, hey, Saskatchewan's a Grey Cup contender. Saskatchewan's got the best D in the league and all that kind of stuff. So it was a nice way for the Bombers to say, hey, sit back down, guys. You're not ready for this.
Yeah, your boy Balls, he was like, any given day, anyone can win the Grey Cup, bro. Hey, but that's true, actually.
It is true.
Yeah, it happened with Montreal,
exactly.
Not Saskatchewan.
No. We know that. We know it's true. Any given day, it's football. It's one game. It's not hockey. It's not a 7-game series, right? It's one game. Anything can happen. Guys can wake up feeling like crap that day, and all of a sudden it's over, right? So
yeah. And Rider fans, we love you. We love you. We know the majority of you are great. And you know what? I got to revert back to Bombers and Grey Cup. Jacqueline Jeffcoat, Jeffcoat's sister, said like 1% of the Bomber fans are being real harassy. And I'm going to call out those 1% of those Bomber fans and stop being idiots. Why are you guys harassing football players in the Grey Cup about having a bad game and decisions and playing when they were hurt? Shut up. Like, really? You have nothing to do with your life other than to search for players online and harass them? Like, give me a break. So I just wanted to shout that out to Jacqueline Jeffcoat, totally supporting that. And Bomber fans, be classy, because that's ridiculous. Come on.
Totally agree on that one. Be classy in all ways. Be classy when you win. Be classy when you lose.
That's ridiculous. What are they doing? Like, really, what is wrong with your life?
Like you say, there's just messed up people out there. 1%, yeah. But you know what? It is probably a lot of people just gambling, losing a lot of money. They take it out on someone else and think that, hey, this is the right way to do it. But it's like, what's the point? You're not doing anything. You're hurting other people, and you're making an ass of yourself, really. But again, they're hidden behind a keyboard, right? So you don't even know.
They're brave,
right?
Brave behind that keyboard.
Yeah.
What do they call those people?
Keyboard warriors.
Yes, hashtag keyboard warriors. Stop being keyboard warriors, you clowns. My goodness. Like they don't feel bad about losing the biggest game of the year.
Yeah,
Think a little.
I think these players feel bad. I think they feel bad. This is their
Yeah.
job. This is what they want to do. At the end of the day, they put their body on the line for 23 weeks, really, I guess, the
Yeah.
whole season. Well, one more, I guess, 24. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, they put their body on the line. You think they want to go out losing at the end, especially in the last game?
Yeah. They're taking it harder than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you see them at the mall, go say that to their face. See what happens.
Oh yeah, I like to see that.
Clown show. Sorry, I've gone too long. A little bit of a rant there. I thought I was done the rants last show.
No,
that was the last rant. That was the last rant.
For now.
Any other highlights from the season? Sorry.
I got to go with Brady Oliveira and talking about, accomplishments, yards, who probably right now he's looking back at it and going, hey, I got it, but I'm not happy with it because we ended up losing the Grey Cup. But the season he put up over 1,500 yards rushing, over 2,000 total yards, by a Canadian running back. Again, Cornish is the only one ahead of him in terms of yards rushing. So it's a great season for a young guy like that to put up. And basically his second full starting season, right?
Yeah.
So fantastic season by him, and I know he'll be able to look back in the future and say, hey, that was still a fantastic season, even though we didn't finish off with the win.
Yeah, and of course you're gonna feel bad after the Grey Cup. He's like, oh, that season was a waste. But bro, let me tell you, like the amount of kids and young football players that you inspired, that they have the possibility to play for their hometown team or play in Canada, totally worth it. Totally not a waste. And of course, who am I to tell you how to feel after losing a Grey Cup? But if that's any consolation, like the amount of people that you entertained and made happy on rough days and the amount of kids you inspired, man, shout out to you.
Yeah. Same with
We're
Dembski,
lucky to
man.
have him.
Same with Dembski, over 1,000 yards, for a Canadian receiver. Again, he'll look back on it and be happy with it at some point, but after they get over the loss.
Yeah, who knows when that would be, man? I can't even imagine.
Still hold on to 2001.
Oh gosh. You brought it up, not me. Winnipeg clinching first place in the Ottawa in overtime in BC. That again was a crazy game. I really enjoyed that game. Watching that game, I can't remember the last TV game I enjoyed more than that one.
Yeah, especially a late game in BC. Usually, at some point, is like BC plays is just cavernous. It's like I don't even want to stay up and watch this game because I just know it's going to end badly for the Bombers.
Yeah, many years of that.
Yeah.
And not just on TV, on the radio as well.
Yeah.
Like under the sheets, listening to Bob Irving and BC Lions and Anthony Cherry and Roy DeWalt and Mervyn. Okay. Any other memories from 2023?
Again, I'm going with a game. Drew Brown and saving the day against the Elks after Claros started rough, then ended up getting hurt. What were they down? 22-0? 21-0?
22-0.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a streak, right? That was their 22nd loss after.
I got a shirt for that, y'all.
So yeah, that was a great game to see Drew Brown come in there and just ball out and bring the Bombers back to victory.
It's games like those that make us question who is the next one. Should we take the chance and move forward? It's easy for fans to say, but when you have loyalty to an MVP and someone who brought glory back, you kind of got to let him finish.
Well, you watched him play some good games, and then the next week he played against Calgary and wasn't so hot, right? So again, it throws up some more questions. Can he handle it, or is he good coming off the bench?
But he also doesn't make mistakes that harm the team to lose a game.
Oh, someone's going to pay him. He's going to get paid. He's going to be a starter next year, and hopefully it works out for him. But it'll be interesting to see. But the only thing is, he's going to probably not go into the greatest situation. A team that needs a starting quarterback usually did not do well this year. Right. So
yeah, of course.
And unless it's Calgary, unless Calgary goes after him, Dave Dickinson's usually pretty good with quarterbacks. Usually.
I think he'd be in a good situation. Who has Ottawa hired an OC yet?
No.
Well, depending on who their OC is, maybe if they get Paul LaPolice,
he'd go back there after getting fired.
Man, it's a CFL.
That's true.
It's a CFL. You do what you do. And not saying that people are desperate for jobs. It's just that if you want to coordinate, it's like, well, whatever.
That's true.
Burn bridges. Is that what he called? Burning bridges?
Yeah, burning bridges.
The last memory for me is at West Final. The loud noise it's probably the loudest game I've been to in my life.
Yeah.
Bomber game. Any game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a good time, good season, good games in that stadium in this year. Hopefully, keep it going next year. And yeah, tough way to end still.
Let's keep that sellout streak going. Come on. I know we will for season opener. I'm not worried about that. But let's keep that momentum going and keep selling out IG Field because it's the best place to be in summertime.
And CFL week 1, Winnipeg, Montreal. Please put it on the schedule. Please do it.
Oh, they'll fuck that up.
Oh, yes, they will.
Jesus. Sorry, I let that one out. Friends, put your comments below. Let's move on now to some Winnipeg Jets talk. Stand out on the ice, pavement, or the field with a custom airbrush helmet or a goalie mask. Fahrenheit Airbrushing, a local Manitoba business with affordable solutions for any project. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431. Tell them Ray and Benny sent you. Fahrenheit Airbrushing. We've missed them. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, no Jets talk for a bit.
Ooh, the Grey Cup will do that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about the homestand that everyone's been raving about for the past 3 or 4 days. Let's go through that quickly. What we thought was awesome, how it went, what looked good for them, who played well. Because, like I said, we've been wrapped up in that Bomber madness. Like almost a month ago, like they were 2-3 a month ago, coming off a beating of the Vegas Knights, and now they are coming off a homestand. Like I said, 4-1 currently. What, second, third in the Central?
Yeah. Third in the Central, yeah.
Unfortunately, Scott Arniel is not unfortunate. He's a coach. He's a coach under unfortunate conditions where Rick Bowness has had to chill with his wife because of health issues, and the Jets have rallied behind both of them. Your thoughts on the homestand and them looking real good?
Yeah, fantastic homestand. They ended up 4-1, wins over Arizona, Buffalo, New Jersey, and the Nashville Predators. Only loss was to Dallas, who's ahead of them in the standings in a close game where the Jets kind of fought back. But yeah, 6-2-2 in their last 10. So they're on a great run right now. They're in Tampa tonight playing a tough game. Penalty kill still needs some work, still giving up at least a goal a game. And right now they're still sitting 7th in that league. The power play is getting better, working their way up, but it's going to take a bit to get up there. To me, though, the goaltending still. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're talking about special teams, so I'm going to get on that talk.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, what's their PK at? 74%. So they're a couple percentage over that. They did a little bit better, but their peak, the power play in the homestand, 2 for 12, 16%, a bit under their 18% average. So it is something to be still worrisome about. They are consistently inconsistent, and maybe Velarde coming back will flip the switch. But the consolation is that they're good at 5-on-5. That first line is crazy. And they're outscoring their opponents on 5-on-5, 9-7 with that first line. The third line with Lowry, 9-4. And Ehlers, Perfetti, Nemestikov, they're going crazy with 7-3 at even strength. So even though special teams isn't cashing in, at least what's keeping them afloat and not afloat, what do you call it? Being successful is their 5-on-5 play.
Yeah, I mean, they outscored overall, not just 5-on-5, but they outscored their opponents on this homestand 23-13. And 2 games at least with 6. And then they scored 5 against Arizona. The only game that they really, the Dallas one, they were kind of slow at first and kind of got better as the game went on. The only other game that they were bad at was Buffalo, where they gave up 17 high danger chances and almost 30 shots to Buffalo, who have been an up and down team so far this season. But then they played well the next night against Arizona and only giving up 18 shots to the Coyotes. So, they're getting better. Their defensive play is getting better. They're getting hard to play against. They're still giving up, obviously, quality chances. Hellebuck and Brossoit still not there yet in terms of good goaltending. They're both under 900. And to me, it's more concerning that with Brossoit being under that, because I know Hellebuck can get back to it, but Brossoit was brought in so that Hellebuck wouldn't have to play so much this year, right? I want to see Brossoit play at least 20 games and some of these tougher games as well, not just against the bottom feeding teams. So hopefully he can step it up. But he
Perfetti has won his last 2 games. He booked in that homestand with wins on Nashville and Arizona, and he was 0-2. So at least that's encouraging. Phoenix, the last game that he won was his 100th NHL start. So shout out to Brossoit.
Yeah, just hopefully he can keep getting better. Cole Perfetti's been on a tear as well, and he kind of is growing into his role and maturing as before our eyes here in the NHL. He's up to 6 goals and 8 assists, so nice to see him cashing in on his opportunities, playing on that second line on the wing right
Yeah.
now. So, but
You
yeah,
had a
good to
question
see.
there with would you put Perfetti back at center when Velarde comes back? Personally, no. I was not. I don't know what to say. Not that I wasn't a fan. I was more of a fan of seeing him on the wing from the beginning of the season. And I think it's shown that it just opens up his offensive capabilities when he doesn't have as much defensive responsibility playing center. So I don't think you put him back at center when Velarde comes back.
Yeah, as much as I want him to succeed, and I didn't think he got a good enough chance. What was he taken off center in the first 5 games or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I do like him now playing on the wing. And I'd like to see him get a shot again at center at some point. But right now he's excelling on the wing, and it's working out for him. And like you say, less responsibilities. He can just play his game. He doesn't have to be the guy getting back. And Nemestikov is great for that kind of stuff.
He
Excuse
has
me.
been playing crazy.
So if it's Velarde, hopefully he can maybe fill in that center and try that out, because you're not going to put Velarde on the fourth line, right? So you're not
No.
bumping any of those guys down. IFL has been great on the top line, so you're not taking him out of there. Uh,
No.
so maybe Velarde pops in for a couple games, see how he can do, because he should be back maybe on this road trip too. So
Yeah. It's funny how we've talked about the Jets for a couple minutes now, and Kyle Connor has not been mentioned once, and he is a goal scoring machine, currently leading the NHL with 14 goals. He's one of those guys that was really consistent, really offensively dynamic, a playmaker with and without the puck in that homestand. Like, and you have a question: will he win the Richard? I don't know if he'll win the Richard, but I think he'll keep this pace going, especially with the teams come. I don't know what the score is right now against Tampa Bay. We're in the midst of that game. Last time we saw that, it was 2-2 with the Jets coming off a 2-0 lead. But Kyle Connor is just crazy. He's starting to feel it, and I don't know if it'll stop.
yeah, it's 2-2 still in that game with under 5 minutes to play in the third period.
Does Kyle Connor have one?
Pardon me?
Does Kyle Connor have a goal?
No, Morrissey and
Uh,
Shifley. Connor does have an assist though.
that
Morrissey 2 points.
Shifley, man, 12 points in his last 6 games. 2 goals, 10 assists. That guy's sorry, I'm standing too far away from the mic. 12 points in his last 6 games, 2 goals, 10 assists. That guy's going crazy.
Yeah, going back to Kyle Connor, obviously, like we talked about before, there were, in an article a couple weeks ago, should Connor and Shifley be broken up, just mostly because they're defensive liabilities. And on the second goal today against Tampa, yeah, they were a defensive liability, not getting the puck out. And it led to, Brandon Points getting one-on-one with Hellebuck in a goal. So, yeah, the guy, he's definitely breaking 50 goals this year. I can't see him not doing that after this torrid start. Again, I don't know if he'll end up winning the Rocket. I think Austin Matthews has already won that right now. They gave it to him, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess so. Since game one.
And he's not, Connor's not leading the NHL in goals. Austin Matthews is, even though they're
No?
tied. So
Oh. I don't care. I don't care what Gary
nah.
Bettman wants. I don't care.
It's time for Kyle Connor to get some recognition in this league, though, man. For the amount of goals and the way this guy's been scoring since he, became a full-time NHLer, it's crazy, man. And it's like no one mentions him in that breath when you're talking about guys that can score. It's always Matthews, McDavid, blah blah blah. But it's like, man, time to put Kyle Connor in your mouth when you're talking about the top goal scorers in the NHL. And I know his defensive play sucks here and there, but you know what? If he can keep scoring like this, the defensive stuff will work itself out.
For sure,
Hopefully.
keep Kyle Connor in your mouth if he keeps going like this. He's crazy. Like he's unstoppable almost.
Yeah, like
Again, with or without the puck. And that's how do you defend against that?
Yeah, like
Shifley
said he knows where to go. He's always in the right spot.
Yeah.
Right. And he just finds himself open. And he is strong on the puck. When he's in the offensive zone, he is strong on that puck. He's not gonna lose it. So he plays a tough game.
Oh my goodness. So now anything else from the homestand?
You know what? It's just nice to see. I know the Jets started off very well last season and it kind of tapered off, but to be that good at home, the Jets, for when they first came to Winnipeg, back to Winnipeg, were very good at home. They won a lot of games there, and then it kind of tapered off. You got to get back to that spot, and then hopefully that starts to fill up the building too. But if they can get tough to beat at home again, that'll help them go a long way this season.
On the Twitter / X, Rod Peterson, I think he's from Saskatchewan. He has a show that I enjoy watching. He said, the biggest difference in the Jets this year is Blake Wheeler not being there. Yes and no. Like if he wasn't captain and he was still here, but we still traded Dubois for Iafalo, oh my
Velarde,
goodness.
Kupari.
Thank you. I think the Jets would still be good. I don't know if they'd be as good because Appleton's having a really good year, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to put it all on Blake Wheeler. I think they're kind of beyond that locker room mess, and they're starting to take a step forward. Last year, it just didn't hold, and I don't put it all on Blake Wheeler. And yes, I think they should have gotten rid of him, but I'm not going to put that whole change on. This is the reason why. I think the PLD trade is much big reason why they're better than Blake Wheeler not being here.
Yeah, even though two of those guys are hurt right now, Iafallo has filled in well, very well, and Velarde was looking good too when he played his first few games. And you know what, LA is already complaining about Pierre-Luc Dubois kind of thing, so I like that trade even more. But yeah, I don't. Blake Wheeler was still here, you know, and if you were playing him first line minutes and first power play minutes, yeah, then you have a
No.
problem.
Yeah.
But if he was bumped back down to third line, maybe fourth line duties kind of thing, yeah, I don't think that would be an issue. But again, it had to end. The marriage there was done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kupari has shown his worth as well. I
Yeah.
really like that Kupari and Barron playing together. Let's look ahead to some games. Florida, Tampa Bay, they're still playing 2-2, yes?
Yeah, going into overtime. So get a
Oh,
point at least.
there, another point. And how many games in a row? 11 out of 14 or something like that? I can't
Yeah,
remember. Is it really?
could be. I mean, let's look back. They had four for sure, and they've won four in a row, right?
Man, my memory. If that's good,
They didn't.
great.
They didn't get a point against Dallas.
I honestly don't have it
Uh,
written here. So, any which way, let's look
Nashville.
ahead to games with Florida, Tampa Bay, and the Predators. Man, like you said, that seventh worst PK in the league is concerning, and they'll have to deal with Tampa Bay's fourth best power play, and they already got a power play goal. Um, Florida has a 10th worst power play in the league, and Nashville's middle of the pack, so maybe they can get better in these matchups. I hope so. What do you think on these matchups?
Well, the best thing to do really is not to take any penalties, I guess. And they took only one against Tampa tonight. Of course, they scored on it. So,
Much success.
so I guess there's some success there. Yeah, these Eastern road trips usually end up being a tough one for the Jets. The East teams, they always play differently. They're bigger teams in the East. And we always talked about how much smaller the Jets team kind of is, but Tampa today was taking it to them at some points. But Hellebuck was standing on his head early, and to me, that's what the Jets need on this road trip. Hellebuck to get more into that in form where he was last year. And he made a wicked save off Kucherov in the first period, and then a breakaway right off that up Hagelin. So right there, he's keeping the Jets in the game. It was 0-0 at the time, so he keeps them in the game and allows the Jets to kind of get the composure and score first. So he needs to be a big part of that. But you know,
I
these
think
fleece. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he will be a big part of this road trip, especially against Florida and Tampa Bay, especially Florida. They have a couple big players coming back. I don't think is Vasilevsky playing tonight?
No, he should be back soon though.
Dang, that the Jets take advantage of that. But yeah,
He
I
played
think
well too.
Florida.
That Jonas Johansson, he played a pretty strong game too.
Did Florida just get Barkov and someone else back?
Yeah, they got a few guys back, but they're down 3-1 to Boston right now anyway. So
well, Boston, they've lost one game all year. Again,
team.
they're looking good. They're making they're going for that President's Trophy once again. They want that.
Don't get it because it just screws you up in the playoffs.
Right. So I think, yeah, Hellebuck will have a good, he'll stand out in the road. And I think Casey will just keep going. He's just on fire, this guy. And he had a hattie against the Preds. They get to play the Preds again, who've not been playing good, and they've lost their centers. Soros has been subpar. So I think, yeah, Kyle Connor will have points galore in these next 3 games.
Well, Florida, they score a lot, but they also give up a lot of goals too. So, but they're very good at home, 7-1 at home. Tough place to play. But yeah, I expect goals in this game. I mean, that first game was 6-4 in the Jets home opener with these two teams, right? So I can definitely see the way these two teams have been scoring lately. Maybe not Florida tonight, but a high scoring game here.
Jeez. So you think Kyle Connor will keep this goal scoring prowess going? You think he'll win the Rocket?
Again, I don't think he'll end up winning the Rocket. I still think probably Matthews will probably end up winning it, but I think he'll be up there and be challenging him.
You don't think McDavid will be up there?
I don't know. McDavid's had a rough start to the season, man. I don't know. He's done. He wants to get out of Edmonton already.
How do you why? He got his coach now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing? Like, wow, that was crazy when Woodcroft got fired and replaced. Like, these Edmonton fans online blaming McDavid and saying he's orchestrating the team. Wow.
Yeah. You know, when that's basically over, right? Dude's probably wishing he did the Austin Matthews thing and signed only 4 or 5 year deals instead of the big. What did he sign? It was still longer than 8, didn't he? I thought.
Where do you
They're
think he'll
still
go?
allowed to sign longer. I don't know. But
If not in Edmonton, where do you think he'll go?
Toronto, of course. No.
Oh my God. Where is he from?
Toronto, Ontario.
Oh,
So
okay.
that'll definitely be the thing, you know, on the news, right? But obviously they can't afford to pay McDavid and Austin Matthews unless they trade Austin Matthews. But
Any other standouts you see on this road trip?
I wanted to see Cole Perfetti keep it going. And like we say, against the East, it's rougher games usually, and he's a smaller dude. So hopefully he can keep up this the goal scoring streak that he is on, which doesn't look good for tonight. But just to see how he performs against these bigger players and if he can handle it.
Yeah, I think offensively he's the number one performer in regards to all these analytics that I never understand.
Yeah.
Corsi, still don't get Corsi. Yo,
I
I
don't even
will
know if they use that one anymore.
I will never be the stats guy with hockey. I am the absolute eye test mofo. So if you come to me with analytics and stats, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. I'm just saying.
I agree with you on that. We need someone else to come and explain some stats to us or analytics.
As we move forward in the season,
Yeah.
just don't expect that from me. I'm the fan with the beer in the hand. That's it. That's all.
The guy banging the glass.
I had the bell. Where's my bell? Oh, it's retired for the Bomber season. I put it away. Any other Jets talk that I've missed?
No, just hopefully they do well. They're still 2-2 in overtime, so
Keep that streak going. Go Jets, go. Winnipeg fans, smash that subscribe button. Put your comments below. Tell us what's going on with the Winnipeg Jets this season and why they look so good and if they'll keep going. Let's keep going with some Winnipeg-centric sports talk. Winnipeg-centric talking sports. I don't know what it's called yet. We'll figure something else. WCT. Titles suck. Goldeyes have a new name for their field. Blue Cross, Manitoba Blue Cross Park. But Blue Cross Park, what are your thoughts on that?
Interesting, I guess. It doesn't seem to very flow off the tongue that easily or that great. You know, like your Blue Cross Park. I don't know, it sounds kind of weird, but Shaw Park was just kind of nice and simple. But hey, man, as long as they're still getting sponsorships and other businesses are stepping up to sponsor the stadium name, it's great for them.
Yeah, I wish I knew what this deal was worth, but I really enjoy the Manitoba connection. And that's been fairly consistent, with MTS now changed to Canada Life, and they kind of bought a Manitoba company. So it's still kind of Manitoba, but not really. But even with Canadians, IG Field, I love it when they keep it within province, within city. So
yeah,
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see another game with local beers. Speaking of local beers, I had a Good Neighbor Hazy IPA tonight, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I've had those before too. I love those too.
Every time on episode, I love my beer. So don't worry. I'll tell you what's going on with local beers in Winnipeg. Let's move on to some Winnipeg Sea Bears talk. Sea Bears Team of the Month recognition. Thoughts on that?
I like it. I mean, this is a great way to get ingrained in the community and give back. And then also, sorry, just to interrupt, the Jets did win 3-2. Adam Lowry in overtime.
Hey, Captain.
Sorry, Seabears. Back to that. Yeah, I like it. It's a great move. It just shows that, hey, the team expects to be around for a long time, because sometimes with basketball in Winnipeg, it's a couple years and then it's kind of gone. So I like this, that you give back to the community, and then hopefully that community then comes to watch your games and check them out, and you build fan bases off of that. So yeah, fantastic move by them.
Yeah, I'm always for teams getting in the community, especially when you're in a small market like Winnipeg and you want to continue to grow your brand or start to grow your brand. So it's great that they're out in the community and that they're representing local basketball teams, high school, amateur. And it's I think they get a wicked prize where like the Sea Bears social media video guy does like a promo video for them, which is pretty dope. And they get a couple they get some warm-up shirts as well. So, and it's not just about on-court greatness. You have to be also involved in the community, giving back to the community, inspiring others. And it's not just about points and winning streak, it's about overcoming challenges as well. So shout out to those Sea Bears for getting the community, local, amateur basketball teams. Get your nominations in. They are due by November 25th for Sea Bears Team of the Month. Dang, that was a fun episode.
For this month, they got like 5 of them at least. So goes right into March. So yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Benny, you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, and have a good week.
And in the words of Bo Jackson, set your goals high and don't stop till you get there. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.